Okay, Kip. So today we're going to try and do some filming of Mr. Kippling. He's just out of his stable, so he might have a little bit of extra energy. So we're going to let him run it off a little bit. Now notice when he's going in his circles, he has a tendency to move his head out. For him, it's a bit of not paying attention. But it's also making him pay attention is quite difficult for him physically. He's a little bit overweight. He's on a bit of an exercise diet at the moment. So in order to get him to bring his head in, I'm going to ask him in, and I'm going to push him out at the shoulder. Good. That's good. So as he starts to turn it into a bit of a sideways motion, his head comes in on the proper bend, but it also means I have his attention. I can hardly hold my rope. And he'll stay on a circle with me. Whereas when I let him go out, good boy. Now it's the first time I have the pedestal out, so he wants to see the pedestal, but we'll get to that. Good. When I let him do what he wants, you notice the head goes out. I'm pulling a lot more. I have a lot more tension in my rope. Come on. Whereas when I get the head in, I'm working more from drop. And when I'm working from drop, my hand is a lot lighter. I have hardly anything in my hands at all. So I'm going to turn him. And again, he's bent out, which makes it very heavy in my hand. I'll just let him have it for a minute. Good boy. And then I'm going to start asking him to come in with his head and out with his shoulder. So in, good, out, good. And then I'm working more from drop. Back, in, out. Good. Good, no, we're not doing the pedestal yet. Now this is physically quite hard for horses. Mentally hard as well because they have to pay attention. And it's so much easier to look at everything going on outside the circle. Boy. Boy. Now one of the ways I like to change direction, which helps create draw with my horse, is to back and bring him in. And then change. Now Kippling, not a lot of people know Mr. Kippling. He's a very cheeky horse. He's a severe left brain horse. And for him it's all about having fun. So he likes to mess around because it makes things interesting. That was much better. So again, I'll bring him in to me and then change him. Good. And I'll keep reminding him it's almost like a half halt. Attention in, attention in. So I'm going to get ready to turn him. Good. Good. Now my round head is not complete. It's full of gravel. Not ideal. And I'm very aware. Not doing too much with the ponies because I don't want their feet to get sore. But I really want to, the pedestal's been sitting in my house for a while. I haven't finished it yet, the top's not right. But I'm dying to use it, so we're going to use it today. So, Kippling has used the pedestal before, not this pedestal. Probably been 7 years? 7 years since he's been on a pedestal. But Kippling knows the drill. So, we're going to let him look at it. Good boy. And he knows he's going to get right up there. He's going to get up there. What do you think? What are you thinking? Good boy. boy. He likes being on the pedestal because it makes him feel like a big man. Huh. So we're going to take it back down and show you how I did that. Come on, down. With me on the proper side. Well, on the side of the camera so you guys can see. Now, if you've done work with me, you know the main things I address is backing up to create space and then driving forward at the girth, because the majority of horses I seem to work with have trailer problems. And trailer problems exist from having a horse that won't come forward when you pull. Well, that's not why they exist, but that's one of the manifestations, is you can't get the horse in because you can't pull him in. So I teach to push at the girth to come forward. It's a Pirelli move. I've stolen it. I don't care. It's a good move and I use it. So Kippling knows. I show him where I want him to go and I push. Now when I'm getting a horse to walk on something or to sniff something, you need to be aware that if you push too hard, they're either going to run through it or they're going to jump over it. So in order for me to ask Kippling in a very light way, I'm going to use an underhand swing with my left hand instead of an overhand. So I'm going to show him where I want him to go, and I'm going to slightly push him there. Boy, he's going to check it out, make sure it's safe. They generally do this with the trailer as well. He wants to make sure it's solid enough. Good boy. He says, woohoo, look at me. Good boy, huh? You're a big man, aren't you? You're a big man, aren't you? So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring Toppy out, my other horse, who has never seen a pedestal, who has just barely started working with me, and see if Toppy can learn how to go on the pedestal, or if Toppy even understands what is required to go on the pedestal. I may get him on, I may not get him on. He may just sniff it. I'll be okay with that. But let's let Kippling have a full turn. Boy, what do you think of that, big man? I've yet to ever get Kippling to get the hind feet on. That's something I'll be working on in the future, but we're not quite there yet. There'll be a bit of groundwork involved before I actually try and get him on the pedestal with all 4 feet. Huh. But I have a feeling if I push, he'll just try and get off. It's a very small pedestal. What do you think? I think that's enough, do you think? Yeah, good boy. Come. Boy. So next we'll do Toppy.